because the world will teach it to them. And by the same token, we as Christians, we learn by trial, we learn by experience, and sometimes, even with God, the answer to us is simply no. Sometimes it's no without explanation. And I've learned that the reason God doesn't explain to us all the time is because we don't operate on his level. We don't think on his level. Even if he explained it to us, we wouldn't understand because his ways are above our ways and his thoughts are above our thoughts. He doesn't take time to give us an explanation that we don't understand. So sometimes he simply says no. Sometimes that no means you're not prepared. Sometimes that no means you're not ready. Sometimes that no means it's not your season. Right then, it's not your season yet. It's not your season, and sometimes it's easier. I use the example to explain that when it's not your season, you don't give the newborn baby a porterhouse steak. The steak can be a blessing to someone else, but it's not that baby's season. Well, you don't give your 8-year-old child a brand new car. Because even though the car can be a blessing in of itself, it's not that child's season. So sometimes when we receive no, it's because it's not our season, but God doesn't always explain it to us. He simply says no. So how can I acquire patience through the trial? How can I acquire patience through the storm? Because each time I go through something, I ought to learn something. Each time I go through, I ought to learn something. I thought about when I was in high school, I believe it was like my 11th grade year at Shelbyville Central. After lunch, we had lunch with our health teacher. Our health teacher, I think she went to the teacher's lounge to eat. And when she went to the teacher's lounge, it took her a little longer to get back to our classroom. So we arrived at the classroom before she did. So after lunch, we go to the classroom, the door is locked. So we learn through trial, error, and experience that after lunch, we just stand on the wall and wait for her to come unlock the door. Well, that was a friend of mine who was very sarcastic, and he said, Larry, he said, watch this. He said, let's see all the geniuses who go check and see if the door is unlocked. So we'd stand there, and even though we knew it through experience, through trial, that the door was locked, there'd always be somebody to go check and make sure that the door was locked. It's as if they had not learned through trial and experience to be patient. But through the trial and through the experience, we had learned patience, so we didn't get upset, we didn't get frustrated, we weren't worried, we weren't tapping our feet, we weren't running around. After lunch, we stood by the wall until the teacher came and unlocked the door because experience had taught us to be patient. And that's how God works. That means that sometimes I request something from God, and then other times God has promised me something, but I have not gotten it yet. But experience has taught me to be patient.